Baby glow, a golden tone, to teenage talking on the phone, and now she's grown. Still a princess at heart, still savvy, and still smart. A beautiful aura, because she is Mora's. A bright future in a calm soul. 35 years worth of stories to be told. A perfect uniqueness of God's light being shown. No one's glory, to only God she belongs. She hears him every time he calls, and even through her flaws, she stands here to show that this girl still glows. Hi guys, thanks so much for joining me for my very first episode of Glow. Getting a notification here. Hey Marge Strass, thanks for sharing my post. Okay. So I am your host, Gigi, and that is short for God's Girl. And again, thank you for joining me for my very first episode of Glow, which is an acronym for God's Love Outshines Worry. So I just wanted to come on here really briefly and let you know where I came up with this concept for Glow, and that'll be my first episode. So I was talking to God years ago about how I wanted to have a podcast or a channel of some sort where I kind of talked as if I was writing in a journal to him, like my own personal diary to God. And God was just kind of helping me along with getting this idea together, like giving me that unction and that direction of where I needed to go with it. So I felt God telling me that the name of this podcast or channel, whatever it was going to be, would be Glow. And I had been posting a few pictures online, and the hashtag that I use with these photos kept being Glow for some reason. And I would put a little fire emoji. And I just felt like at that time in that photo, I looked like I was glowing from like the inside. I was just like happy, joyful. So I thought, yeah, God, that's it. That's what I want. I want it to be named Glow. So then, of course, I had to come up with the acronym of what Glow means. And because I have struggled my whole life with anxiety, I felt like making it kind of an anxiety, how to calm anxiety driven podcast or show or channel, whatever I was going to come up with. So as I'm just grafting out what this is going to be, and I'm listening to God over the next couple weeks, couple months, trying to figure out what it would all be about, God gave me this imagery of how Native Americans would go out in nature and they would have to create fire for themselves. So he was showing me how they would use flint, and they would, spark the flint, and how that spark would hit the branch or the leaves, the shrubbery, whatever it was that they were using to help this fire grow. And God explained to me how once they got that spark and they got the shrubbery or the twig or whatever it was to have just a little bit of flame on it, just a little bit, that's when they had to really go to work. So they started to blow on that little tiny bit, but it was a soft kind of whisper of a blow. And then they would start working it with the little twig. They put the twig in the center and they start working it. And then they go back in and they start to blow. But it's not a sharp blow, because that blow would completely wipe out the little bit of a spark that they had. It was a soft blow. And then they went back in and they would work it. And then they would blow and they would work it. And that's how they were able to get this flame to grow. So God showed me and talked to me about how that's the same as when you have people surrounding you and you have this spark inside of you and you want it to grow, and they speak to you harshly and they tell you it'll never work, that'll never work out. Or even you as a person, they try to come against you negatively. You're no good. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. You'll never be anybody. Well, those are the kind of harsh blows that can completely blow out the spark inside of you. But if you have people surrounding you who are speaking calmly, sweetly, patiently, kindly, nicely, then those are the words that are really giving you life. And that's exactly what you do when you build the fire. You try to blow into it very softly and you're patient with it because you want to give that fire life. But then you also have people around you who are willing to work with you. And that's where that little twig comes in. You got to work it a little bit. And then they talk to you kindly and they're patient with you and then they work with you. So it's just some imagery that God gave me of what I should talk about on my show to get people to understand where the name comes from and where the concept comes from. And that way you can have an understanding of who you should keep around you. The people who are patient, who are kind, who are willing to work with you. And even that's who you should try to be yourself towards others. You know, don't try to speak so harshly and negatively to people all the time, or even to yourself. You know, affirmations are amazing. They speak life into you. They give you power, and you can speak those things that are not as though they were. I mean, I find that to be probably one of my most powerful things, to open my mouth and speak positivity about myself, about, you know, my businesses and what I plan to do with my life. I guess the best example or analogy I can give you for that in the Bible would be the burning bush. So when Moses came across the burning bush, he saw a bush that was burning, but it didn't burn up. And he thought it was burning because there was light surrounding it and there was heat coming from it, but it wasn't burning up. So it was a concept that was hard for him to grasp. But that's the exact definition of glow in the dictionary. It's something that emits light and emits heat without a flame. And if you think about it, fire in and of itself, I mean, it's destructive. I mean, it can be beneficial, but if you let it get away from you, it can become destructive. So that's exactly what God's love is. It's something that it gives light, it gives heat, it gives warmth, it lets you know that it's there, but it's not destructive. I think that's the beauty of God's love. And for everybody that's watching, if no one ever told you this, God's love is 100% free. You don't have to do anything to get it. You don't have to do anything. Just the fact that you exist is an expression of his love. So I hope I explained that the way God wanted me to. And I hope that this reaches the people that it needs to reach. And I haven't really come up with like my sign off. I seem like I'm really popular right now, right? I haven't really come up with my sign off for Glow just yet. So I guess I'll keep it the same as all of my other channels. This is Gigi and I'm signing out. Bye.